Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. We're back with some football chat. It's Manchester United's trip to Ellen Road. It's a big rival. It's Leeds United. And we must... Look, I think this is really exciting actually. I think after the week we've had and the way we feel and the momentum there has to be around the movement for change at Manchester United, the core value is Manchester United on the pitch. This is what we're fighting for. Success on the pitch, the team we love. When you think about Manchester United and you think about history, we don't really think about the owners. We don't really think about the bank balances. We think about people like Eric Cantona. We think about people like David Beckham. Longer back, you think about people like Brian Robson, Sir Bobby Charlton, Duncan Edwards. This is the history of Manchester United, the football. And whatever we're doing off the pitch to try and bring about change, we must support the team on the pitch. And also, we must criticise the team on the pitch if they don't perform, because that shirt means so much. It's about success. But the players have had a tough week. But what better game to come back than a game against Leeds United? Because I think, you know what, if this was Brighton or someone like that, I think we'd be a bit meh. We've got Leeds, we've got Roma, and then we've got Liverpool. So on the pitch, we should get some entertainment, which is exactly what we need after a hard week. Interestingly, I wasn't aware of the league table. Of course, there has been games since we played Burnley, which feels a long time ago. We've got some team news for you as well. But first of all, the league table. We are currently in second place. We're in a very, very comfortable position in the league table at the moment, actually. Second place, 66 points, 7 points clear of Leicester, same games played. More importantly, fourth place Chelsea played the same amount of times as us. They've got 55 points. So we're 11 points off fourth place with 6 games to go. We're 7 points off third place with six games to go. The fixtures that we've got, look, the league's gone. I think the league's gone. We're 11 points off Manchester City. Dreams can come true, as Gabriel would say, but they'd have to be quite, I've nearly said quite erotic dreams. I mean, they're always good dreams for some people, but no, dreams can come true, but I don't think that dream's going to come true. And actually, we've got the gap between us and Leeds is the same as us and fourth. And I think that's the way to get the mentality around this, is that the gap to fourth place, we're not going to blow that. How are we going to get first? So, but second place, nailed on pretty much, is good. And Leeds offers a big test, because Leeds rivalry, I remember the game back before Christmas and Leeds were building it up, massive game. This is a big game for Leeds. Leeds against Manchester United. Look, they're not involved in the Super League. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird week for all of football, but Leeds will want to beat us. The last game was superb, 6-2. Remember McTominay and Fred? It was like, this is the real McTominay and Fred. Can the real McFred stand up? And they did. But the game was wide open. Dan James played superbly well. Will we see Dan James in a games like this? The thing is, against Leeds, Ollie even said it in his press conference, it wasn't a 6-2 game. It was probably more of a 3 or 4-2 game. But Leeds play so open, there's massive opportunities for a side like us. We're a team that, we defend quite well and we look to hit on the break, and that is probably the system that doesn't suit Leeds. They play open, they play man for man. And we like teams that play open, because that's where we can be successful. So Manchester United versus Leeds at Ellen Road. What a game to come back to. What a game to sort of start getting back into football, because we have got a lot of games coming up now. It's weird to have a week off. Rashford hasn't trained all week, according to Ollie. Eric Bailly is back now. But I think the team sort of picks itself. I mean, just on Rashford, he's not trained all week. I mean, again, this has been going on for quite a while now. As we focus on football for a moment, Marcus Rashford is not training very much in the last, I would say, month. Is it about a month now? There is an issue there. I mean, it was like, we're always told, he always seems to train the day before a game. But then after a game, he isn't trained. I mean, how many days is it? It's Friday today, so he's not trained all week, 5 days. He's not trained, and that's pretty big. But I guarantee if we'd had a game last night, he probably would have played. So the reality with Rashford is very, very clear. He's carrying quite significant problems and playing through the pain, which he's been doing for a very long time. I mean, in a game like this, I would probably not play Rashford, because if you look at the team on the left, I think Donny van der Beek deserves a start. I really do. So bringing Rashford in, I don't see that happening. Although if he's fit, of course he does come in, because he's a first team. He's probably one of Ollie's first picks. Anyway, let's have a look at the team. So Henderson in goal. I mean, look. After the week we've had and the way we feel, put Henderson in goal and play David against Roma. I'm happy for that. And ultimately, if David played against Leeds, then Dino would play against Roma. And look, I'm happy for David to play against Roma, so you put Dean in against Leeds. This is an issue for the summer, as we know. I didn't think Henderson played very well against Burnley. I thought he was very all over the place, and ultimately, you could say, look, De Gea should go in goal, but ultimately, this is about sharing the role, which he's done all season. He's got to stay consistent between goalkeeper in the cup and goalkeeper in the league, and to be honest with you, I would say put Henderson in goal. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he learns from the mistakes of last week, where he was just he was eager. He was just too eager. He was coming for things. He was flapping at things a little bit. Still a very, very good goalkeeper, but this is the opportunity. Give him an opportunity in this game. The only thing I would say about Henderson that he's a bit unlucky is that he gets a lot of clean sheets because he plays in games where we don't really give up many chances. That's not really on the goalkeeper, is it? He almost needs to play in some games where he's going to get tested a lot. So I would pick Henderson in this game. It's part of the development. It's part of responding to not a brilliant performance last week, not terrible but not brilliant. So yeah, I'd put Henderson in goal. Keep David for the Roma. Obviously the back four is going to pick itself. We've got no injury issues. The midfield, I think he'll go with McFred. They played well against Leeds last time, so I think he'll stick with that, which means we'll get Pogba on the wide, Bruno, and I would play Greenwood, Cavani, which means no Rashford. But I do think Donny van der Beek's got to be knocking on the door. Someone's knocking at the door, and his name's someone's knocking at the door. Someone's ringing about. Yeah, it's me. It's Donny. I've been doing it all fucking season. So, yeah, Donny does need to get it. Donny deserves to start. But as I said, I think that'll be the starting lineup. But if Rashford's fit, one of those has got to drop out. And who do you drop out? It's probably Mason Greenwood who drops out, who, again, deserves to keep playing. So, Ollie's got good problems at the moment. I just feel that if there's any way you can get Donny involved. We heard this week that Donny isn't unsettled. He expected this sort of a season, which, to be honest with you, I don't think that's true. I don't think you would expect that sort of a season. I think you'd expect you've got a battle for your place, but I think you'd expect that when you battle for your place and you do well, you might get a few more minutes. I don't think he would have expected to get as few minutes as he has, but I think he's committed to the club next season. I think he will be here. But I would like to see a little bit of reward now. I mean, I think even Ollie himself knows that he's not used him as much as he should. And what we keep seeing with Van der Beek is that he does keep doing things. And people will say, well, he's not doing enough. But you don't understand how difficult it is when you're getting so few minutes. But when you come on and do something, that means that you should get more minutes. Because we saw it with Fred. We've seen it with other players. It is about getting a run of fixtures. It is about playing regularly. You can't keep giving him half an hour and then waiting a month and giving him another half an hour, because that momentum and freshness goes. So I'd love to see Van der Beek in, but where you fit him in is difficult, because Pogba, Cavani, Greenwood, Bruno, Rashford, they've all had a week off and they're not carrying any knocks. So, he plays well against Burnley. He wants a midweek game. Oh, what happens? We have a week off and everyone's sort of raring to go again. I'm back on the bench. But maybe you can get another half an hour. It's just about getting a bit of momentum with Donny, and you never know what injuries we might pick up between now and the end of the season, or there might be an opportunity for him there. So look, I want to see Van der Beek play, but I don't think it's realistic. What do I think the score will be in this game? I quite fancy us to win this. I do. I think Leeds' recent form, very, very good. Obviously, they beat Man City, and they were down for 10 men for 45 minutes, and they beat Man City. They got a draw, didn't they, against Liverpool, and it was a well-deserved draw. So Leeds have had a tough run of fixtures, and they've produced, 4 points out of Man City and Liverpool. If they can get another point or even a win, that would be a fantastic. I mean, Leeds aren't going to get top four. I don't think Leeds can even get a Europa League spot. They're sort of probably a little bit too... They're about 7 points off being in and around it. So they would need to beat United. They won't give up yet with 6 games to go. But Leeds' season has been... I think Leeds, for me, I've said it a lot of times this season, if you're looking to watch a game of football, Leeds is probably the game of football I would watch. I think they've been very, very entertaining. I do like Bielsa. I know Leeds are seen as one of our biggest rivals, but I do like Bielsa. I like the way he plays football. And for that reason, I looked forward for the game before Christmas, and I'll look forward to this one. But I think Leeds' problem this season is that whilst they are capable of beating anybody, more or less, they're also capable of losing to anybody. It's inconsistency, isn't it? We think we're inconsistent, but we're inconsistent because we want to be first. Leeds are genuinely inconsistent, and that is why they're mid-table. So I think we will beat them. I wouldn't be... 3-2 to Manchester United for some reason comes into my mind, and I'll be very happy with that. I think after the week we've had as United fans, it would be nice to see a game like this. I think it's the right game for United. And I think we've got the right 3 fixtures as well. They're dangerous in a way. I did see somebody saying on social media the danger is Leeds a big game, Roma's a big game, Liverpool's a big game, and the momentum of the movement against the owners will stop. it's not going to stop. It isn't going to stop. It's not going to stop because we've got big games. And I do think we need to separate the two things. The support for the manager and the players and Manchester United Football Club, you're allowed to do that. You don't need to feel guilty because these players and these managers haven't done anything wrong. They're as innocent as we are in this Super League plan. It's all these owners. So we can get behind the team and we can enjoy our football. And remember, it's only 90 minutes out of a day, every 3 days. There is no guilt attached to enjoying as playing Leeds on Sunday. And I think it's the right game as well. I think it's the right game that we need. And I hope that there are a lot of goals in it. In a way, and I've said it a few times now, but it is the perfect game because it's got a rivalry to it. I think if Leeds weren't one of our rivals, we've basically got top 4 done. We've pretty much got second done. And Leeds are pretty much going to be mid-table. So it could be a bit, this could be a boring game. But because it's got that Leeds against United feel, I think it gives that edge to it. And hopefully there will be quite a few goals in it. So I'm going to go 3-2 to Manchester United in this game. I'm fancying it to be a good game. And Ollie against Bielsa. I mean, look, this is a very tactical coach against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who only this week, only yesterday, was saying, look, I've never pretended that I'm the great coach. I'm reliant on my coaches. I can coach, but I've never said I'm better than my coaches. And he named all his coaches like Carrick and Phelan and McKenna. And, I'm the man manager. There's a team there. And Ollie's very, very open about that. And look, Ollie's open to criticism. Let's do this properly. There is a momentum. There is a unity around our fan base at the moment. But unity isn't reality when it comes to football. There is no problem if he drops Bruno tomorrow to say what is he doing. Like in this feeling of optimism, which we must all retain. Football for decades, when you've been as a kid or as a teenager, or as in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. If you go to a football match, if you go to Old Trafford, if you go in the noughties, when I used to go quite a lot, and you listen to what the crowd was saying about legends, it's part of the game. Getting on people's backs, demanding more. The reason we do it is because sometimes the players don't play well. Sometimes they are passing it side to side. Sometimes they are shit and losing to Sheffield United, and they need a kick up the arse. Criticism of entertainment is not a problem. But what went on this week went beyond all of that. And it's not the player's fault and it's not the manager's fault. This turned into destruction of football. Criticism of an entertainment we love. There's no problem with that. And of course, I think Ollie realises that. The work in progress that United are is very clear. The plan... The interesting thing is the plan going forward. What is the plan going forward? I think we're all uncertain. I think Ollie's uncertain. We're just going to have to see. I almost feel like the last week, history's been rewritten. If you'd have gone back a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, a lot of the conversations we were having was, why are you not Ollie out? Why are you Ollie in? He's not good enough. He's not the right manager. He is good enough. He is the right manager. And I kept saying, look, we're going to have to be patient on this because he will not be sacked at the end of the season. He will get a new contract. If he gets backed in the summer and he does well next year, we might see something special. If he doesn't get backed and he plays the same football next year, he'll be sacked by Christmas. That was the situation. And I was saying, I think people should be patient. I don't think that's the situation anymore. As I said last night, I think Solskjaer's job is secure for a very long time. They cannot sack him under any circumstances. They are public enemy number one to United fans at the moment. If they think they've got the authority to sack a manager, well, I think they've got another thing coming. But we've also got to be very, very careful. As I said last night again, what is the best thing what normally stops Glazers out on trending? Last summer or every summer, what normally stops Glazers out trending? We can have a crap transfer window, but a couple of weeks into the season, if we lose a game, Glazers out is gone and it's get Ollie out. And the Glazers might think about that. Look, if we have a really shit transfer summer, we'll get a load of criticism, but next season when we don't play well, they'll go after Ollie and that'll be our cover, and then we'll get rid of him and bring a new manager in, and then that's optimism for 3 years. We've got to be really careful about how this plans out. We've got to be one step ahead all the time, because I'm telling you now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should not be being sacked before we've got new managers. And no matter how it gets on the pitch, that's going to be really difficult to think like that. But you've got to think of how you can be manipulated here. You've got to think about how the Glazers get out of this. And what better way than to not back him in the summer. He has a bad season next year. And then everyone's saying get Ollie out. And then a new manager comes in. It's a new fresh start. We're going to buy in players. And people forget about this whole Glazer thing. And we've got to keep it on there. But I think at the moment, where we are as a football club is yet to be defined. Where we are as a football club going forward, we don't know. We should finish second. We should get Champions League football, and then we were hoping for a really good transfer window to build on what we've got. I don't know that that's possible anymore. I think it's highly likely that we're going to go into next season after a really bad transfer window. We might go into next season with the same 2 goalkeeper problems because we can't remove one of them. We will probably still, I believe, categorically that Paul Pogba will be here next season running his contract down. I don't think we're going to bring good players in. So I think that next season could be a real battle. But we might have to just adjust to this new world. I think results are important. Performances are there to be praised and criticised if they are not good enough. But the bigger picture of chasing managers out and things like that, they may have to wait. Expecting to be in a title race next season, that might have to wait because the Glazers are going to play a game that we don't know what they're going to play yet, and we're going to have to adapt to it. It could be let's spend 200 million and get the fans behind us. We'd have to be very clever about that. We'll take the players, but we're not getting behind you. It could be spend nothing and just try and get away with it, and then, in which case it's quite easier for us to stay on them. It could be something different. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to go 3-2 to Manchester United against Leeds. I'm really looking forward to it. Bielsa will play his football, as we know. It's expansive, it's fast, it's open. And I think Ollie will look to be, tight at the back, but expansive on the break with the pace that we've got. We could even see Dan James start, because I think Dan James fits a game like this like a glove. If there's 2 games a season that you should start Dan James, it is against Leicester. Leeds. So he might do it, because there's so much space on the break. Dan James could score a hat-trick against Leeds. People will say, oh, he's definitely good enough for United. And I'll say, I don't think he is. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but I just think he suits this sort of a game that's wide open with space. And 95% of the teams in the Premier League will never play against us like that. But we'll see. So I'm going to go 3-2. I think it will be a good game. And obviously, I think if we win this, second is tied up 100%. Of course, if we lose to Leeds and we lose to Liverpool, we could open up the door for teams behind us. But we've got a good gap. And ultimately, I think in a pragmatic way, it's been a very, very good season for us where we are in the league. But we've got a big week. Roma's massive next week. Leeds is big. Liverpool's big. So we have got a good week on the pitch. I've got a very, very big week off the pitch, of which you all know and you're all getting involved in, which is great. So that's fantastic. Look, I'll be back a little bit later with some live content but for now, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and I'll speak to you all very soon.